Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
Hey, Heather.
Hey, Dave.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast, and don't worry, folks, we have not replaced Jenn, although if we were going to replace Jenn, you couldn't do better than a quasi-producer, Heather, producer of the podcast and much encourager and all that good stuff, because she's just great. Hey, Heather, how you doing?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
We are wonderful, of course. Jenn, we're recording last week and this week's episode kind of in the same couple of days because Thanksgiving holiday is here. But if you're listening to this episode, then I hope you have had a great Thanksgiving, or if you're listening to it when it just dropped, I hope you're going to have a great Thanksgiving. So Jenn is, she's off. She's in Cancun with our good friend Kyla. You know Kyla, right? You've met her, right, Heather? Have I talked about her?
I think her name is dropped maybe a couple times on the podcast.
Now it's a running bit. So yeah, they are taking a girls' weekend over in Cancun, which is much deserved. They really needed to get away, and so I'm guessing they had a great time because by the time this episode drops, they will have been back 3 or 4 days, and so the schedules are all crazy. But tonight, it's Heather and I. So Heather, the immortal question: how did you Disney this week?
So I Disneyed this morning and I think Jen and Christine were talking about this a couple episodes ago about that Haunted Mansion wax melt that dropped and it sold out immediately.
Yep.
There was another release at 1:00 today. I got in queue at 12:58 and I checked out. I even texted Jen and said, "Do you want one?" And she didn't even answer me in time. So I have one. I'm sorry, Jen.
Very cool. That is awesome. I love it. Well, I Disney by the fact that I've been in Disney World all week. I left on Saturday, which is coming up in real time, but when you're listening to this, happened several days ago. Saturday through Saturday. It's a Saturday through Saturday trip. The whole family, all of us, my wife and her whole entire family, her brother and family, her sister and the family, the parents are taking everybody to Disney World, which means nobody's getting anything for Christmas because we all got it at Disney World this year. We're staying at Saratoga Springs. Each family has their own one bedroom, which is wonderful. So a little bit of privacy there for everybody, and kind of not. We were looking at doing like Port Orleans rooms and stuff, but we were like, let's just do the one bedrooms, and that way we're not on top of each other, and it's great. So yeah, I'm guessing it's been a fantastic week. It's been magical.
Guessing.
It's been magical. So not a whole lot going on tonight. Of course, this has been Thanksgiving week, and I hope everybody has had a very safe week this week. But I do want to ask you, Heather, one rumor that has floated out there, and I figure we'll just kind of shoot the magical breeze, as they say. One rumor I'm hearing is Paint the Night might be coming to Disney World. Now, of course, Paint the Night was big in California Adventure, and they're getting the Main Street Electrical Parade over there. I almost said podcast. The parade over there, which I'm okay with because I've seen that parade 1,000 times, and I like the parade. Don't get me wrong at all. And I really wish we had a parade over here, so I would take it. Of course, we all love Spectro Magic, and the fact that Spectro Magic will never come back because all the floats have been destroyed, which on a pin set on my boards in the hallway, I have little tiny pieces of some of the floats and little pin brackets. What is your take on the Paint the Night possibly coming back, and how much credence do you give to this rumor?
So we need a nighttime parade. We need a nighttime parade back. We are the cash cow park, and we need one back because even after Enchantment is over, and we know it from the 50th, we were sitting there on the street waiting, hoping that they were going to surprise everybody and bring back something for the 50th. We need something back. I think that I am okay if they would bring it back and bring it to Disney World. And I think a lot of the reason is that because a lot of people here on the East Coast never make it out to Disneyland. Right. So they've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
So I think that it would be good if they did bring it here. Do I think that the rumor is true? I don't know, but I think the fans are really starting to speak out to say, hey, we need something here at nighttime because we miss it. It's what we grew up on. We are the Disney kids that, we're your big fans now. We're all in our 40s and 50s. bring back a piece of our childhood because we want to share it with our kids.
Well, and I think it's something they're going to have to really look at doing regardless, because the lines are full. I mean, the parks are getting really full, and we got Genie Plus, and it'll be a couple of months before we find out how well that's mitigating the lines and how well it's working. But, they need somewhere for these people to go, and what better place than to bring them all on Main Street or whatever the parade route is, waiting for the parade. That's a great place to store people, to get them out of the lines and stuff. They can go and sit on the sidewalk waiting for the parade. And I think you're right. I've never seen Paint the Night. The 2 times I was at Disneyland when they were doing Paint the Night, both times it was not happening. Like, I think they had closed it for refurbishment, and they were taking a couple weeks off, and then it was coming back the next week after I was gone. And then another time, like, for whatever reason, it wasn't happening that night. Paint the Night's not going to be happening tonight. I don't know if it was rain or whatever. So I've never seen it. And I think it would be a joy to have it out here because it's something fresh and new. Now, do you think it would fit better in something like Hollywood Studios instead of Magic Kingdom?
Yes.
Do you think so? Yeah, I think so too.
Yes.
I think so too. Now, but do you think they would put a parade in Hollywood Studios and not put one in Magic Kingdom, though?
No, I don't think that they can. I know that I am partial to Magic Kingdom. It is, quote unquote, my park. I love it. But I also think that is the icon of Disney World. And to have a parade there and not have one in Magic Kingdom, it doesn't have the right feeling. Although, I don't know. I think Hollywood Studios is becoming people's secret nighttime park, because if you aren't an Epcot fan and you aren't a Magic Kingdom fan, don't discredit that show that happens at the Chinese Theater at night. Like, don't skip it, because the fireworks.
Is it the movie Spectacular? Yeah.
Yeah, don't skip it. I mean, it's good. So if they wanted to bring a parade there and they could do it down like Sunset Boulevard and have all the people line up, I mean, it would be great. But you bring something back to Magic Kingdom first, and then have that one be a bonus.
We need something back in Magic Kingdom. Even if they did Festival of Fantasy, do it at night. That's fine. Put some lights on the floats. It wouldn't take that much. The Fire the Breathing Dragon at night would be fantastic. I heard that it was great during the Halloween after hours party thing that had going on, the Boo Bash, I guess, whatever it was called, which I'm hoping.
We went to one.
Oh, well, how was it, by the way?
Oh my gosh. So, super low crowds compared to Mickey's Not So Scary.
Right.
So me and Kylie, my oldest daughter, that has always been our thing. We will take a weekend down. It's me and her. Callista has never been to one. You don't get as much candy that we noticed previously, because all the kids want are the candy and everything. But we really enjoyed it. Was it worth the price point? No. I would prefer Not So Scary. Yeah, Not So Scary over Boo Bash. But in terms of like the floats and everything coming out at night, I mean, it was great.
Well, and I did like the fact that they didn't sell as many tickets. When you said it, you said it was low crowds. They sold out. They sold all their tickets. So it wasn't if it was just a poorly attended event. They sold all the tickets that they were going to sell. So that was actually kind of nice. And was the appeal of the after hours events. They had them previously. I went to one 2019, I guess, May of 2019. Went to an after hours event, and it was just the regular. There was no theme to it. It was just you stay in the park 3 hours and you play and run around. And I think I ate tons of ice cream and like 9 Cokes because they were all free and such, and with part of the price or whatever. So it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. So one thing too that I thought would be kind of fun, and I'm kind of just springing this on you because it just came to mind. I thought, since it is Thanksgiving and it's Thanksgiving Day today, first of all, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with you and the family and the girls and everything.
Me too.
I think
we're living it up magically in
I was going to say, I think we both had wonderful things to be thankful for. But talking about Disney, Heather, Disney World and so on, what are you thankful for? What Disney themes are you thinking you're thankful for?
Oh, for over this past year, obviously I'm thankful that our 50th whole shindig went off without a hitch.
It really did.
It really did.
It really did.
And I know that we keep going back to it at random times. I think Meredith just came up. She just started up the chat again last night with all of us. And I know that it's been well over a month, which is hard to believe. But
very hard to believe.
It went off without a hitch. But I think I'm thankful that Disney is getting back to, let's leave the price points out of all of this, people.
Right.
I am glad that Disney is getting back to being Disney. The character interactions are coming back. I mean, Mickey's back there. Mickey and Minnie are back there. I love that all these people are like getting on Instagram and TikTok and they're, doing creative things with him, like meeting him at the theater and things like that. More of the dining things are coming back. We all know that the dining plan that Disney said it's coming back in 2022. They haven't announced the date yet,
We're
but
waiting.
2022 is
We're
right
waiting.
around the corner, so that's coming back. I like that it's getting back to the Disney that we knew and loved, because it just seemed to be off for the longest time. And I can't believe it, I'm going to say this, even the crowds being back makes me feel like it is back to being quote unquote normal.
Yeah, I can concur with that, and I do think. Well, first of all, I am thankful for you and a lot of your planning for the 50th. Back in 2020, early 2020, I barely knew Heather. We knew each other. We worked in the same agency, obviously, but we weren't crossing a lot of circles. We didn't really know each other very well. I knew she was the mom who adopted the girls from China, and she may have known me as the guy that Jen hired, who wasn't the other two guys that work in the agency. I don't know. And so, but Heather was coming on and was like, "Hey, this is May," and she was like, "Everybody, get your rooms. They just came on sale." And so, of course, we all dashed and got our rooms, thinking, "Well, this isn't a year and a half away." And slowly but surely, obviously, as the time we're on, we got to know each other and so on. And then there it was. It was the 50th, and we were there. And it was just this whole, I remember walking into the Contemporary, and this is kind of harkening back to our 50th episode we had a couple of weeks ago, talking about the 50th. I walked into the Contemporary after coming off Magical Express, and I literally, I jumped up and down when I got into the Contemporary, and I stood there, and I fought having a tear in my eye. I just stood there. I was like, this is the 50th anniversary, and I am here. And I am here with my team. I am here with people who get it. I am here, and I am so excited. And, of course, I went up to my Contemporary room with that theme park view, and I was like, this is why I'm here. And
this is amazing.
This is amazing. How about this? And I jumped up and down like I'm in my 40s, and I'm like, yeah, this is so great. I mean, it was fantastic. It was magical, to use that word. So I am definitely thankful that you and other members of this team are just, as we said before, Disney with people that get it. It's the best Disney you possibly can find. Is
absolutely
get it. And I think that there are a lot of people now who get it. And I think people who missed Disney maybe didn't realize what they had when Disney was gone, when it was not open, when the parks weren't open, and then it came back. And of course, it came back in a very low form. Dining wasn't open. Not a lot of dining was open. Everybody's wearing masks, and everybody's kind of, to use the word, living in fear, I guess, of a lot of things because the policies were out there, and there's so much uncertainty going on, And I feel as if people kind of realized, oh, we did miss Disney. Oh, I didn't realize Disney was such a big part of my life until I didn't have it, or until I didn't have it in the form I recognize it. So you're absolutely right. I'm very thankful that Disney's kind of coming back. Yeah, we can talk about price point later. Maybe we'll have a rant episode where we'll talk about all that. But yeah, Disney is coming back. Disney is getting back, and I'm waiting for the Hoop-De-Doo review to open. That's what I'm really, really shooting for. The Hoop-De-Doo, the Bibbidi-Bobbidi Boutique, and the dining plan. I think those are maybe three of the biggest kind of things that aren't there yet that we're waiting on.
You are leaving out, what are we all desperately missing? The strawberry soup.
1900 Park Fair. Yes, you're right. It's not open. The chilled strawberry soup. Oh, it's so good.
We are missing the strawberry soup. We all can't wait till the strawberry soup is back.
Yeah, I was very thankful.
I think we're also, obviously, you and I want to say that I speak on behalf of the entire agency. We are all thankful for Jen. I'm thankful for you and Jen because, I wouldn't be quasi producer if you guys wouldn't have
That's very true.
had me on one episode, and then, good old Heather gives her opinions, and I was like, let me just suggest something.
Well, let me stop you there. This wasn't just you messaging. By the way, you have to know, audience, that and maybe everybody else has this too in their own workplace and their own group of friends, but we have Facebook Messenger chats everywhere. I literally have, if I were to Venn diagram out the chats I have with different people in the agency, it would look like a spirograph gone wrong, because I have 4 chats with Heather. I have 7 chats with Jen in various forms. I have I think I counted 5 chats with Kyla. I have 4 chats with, just random people, just, in iterations of different people. And sometimes I have something funny I want to say, and I'm like, okay, so who gets this? I'm not really sure which group to put this in. Who do I want to see this? If I put it in this group, these people see it, and I can put it in those groups, and there's no crossover. This is good. And so, and I've done that. And so, yeah, with that, it's you weren't just in the chat going, let me give you suggestions. You were full force hey, let's put this on YouTube. Hey, why don't we do this with it? Hey, why don't we do, and it was never your show needs work, let me help you. It was more of I got some great ideas to make this show even better. Let's push it out. Let's push it harder. Let's do it, and I'm like, fantastic quasi producer you are. And so, I mean, eventually you'll move up to real producer, and we'll start paying you the real money.
Okay, that would be nice. But even until then, I love it. And I know that I say this all the time. Like, you and Jenn have just such a great relationship. Even when I'm, editing it at the end of every week, because I get to hear it before everybody else gets to hear it. And then I'll just be editing it. And there are just some episodes that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, it's just great. I love it.
That's except for the few special episodes where we have like a big guest, like Stacy or something. The most feedback I get are the episodes where it's just me and Jenn, and we're kind of going back and forth on just whatever. And the numbers project that. I mean, we just have a great banter and back and forth, and we've been good friends now for 5 years. And I joke about the fact that she could have had me in the agency for 4 years now instead of just 2. But hey. Que sera, sera. No, but Jenn does own Upon a Star Travel and Concierge, and she's owned it for a long time. And, she is the outright owner of the agency now, and she leads this team in a way that I don't think that I've ever been a part of a team that has had a leader like this, like she is. And it is no small feat to lead a team spread throughout, especially most of the eastern United States, but some throughout the country. It is no small feat to lead this team in all that she's doing. And part of the reason she's on vacation is because there was a death in the family, and and everything's okay. But don't for the audience, everything's fine. But there was a death in the family she had to deal with, and the holidays were coming up, and the agency was going. I mean, everything was happening all at once, and she was like, "I need a break. And I'm like, "Take the break. I'm going to do the intro on the Stacy episode," which I did. We'll get Heather in. She'll fill in for you for the Thanksgiving episode. It's fine. It's all good. And she's like, thank you. And so
isn't that amazing though? I mean, if you think about it, what other places can you just say like, hey, I need a break, and everybody else just steps up?
Yep.
Because we love her.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, like
she really do.
And she'll listen back to this and she'll be like, "Oh, that's so sweet." But it's true. It is really, really true. So I hope you guys have a team or have a tribe around you. And honestly, one of the great things too is I feel like I have a magical tribe working with this team. And I feel like this episode is really just self-congratulatory about look how great we are. But it's true. Our team is fantastic.
We're thankful for him.
There is a leader. There's a speaker named Justin Shank, and he's a podcast guru is what I like to call him. He is fantastic. He's got a book coming out, and I've heard him speak before several times. So Justin gave this talk a couple of weeks ago, basically that you need to. Well, here's what he said. He said, focus on your business every day. You need to focus on the relationships. You need to find a team. And the 5 people you need on your team are the cheerleader, the person who cheers you on, encourages you throughout, no matter what. Like, they're here for you. You can do it, whatever. And not just empty platitudes of, like, I'm rooting on everybody. It's people that are connected to you that, like, I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting for you. You're going to do this. You need a bruiser. It's a person who questions what you want to do in your life, but also supports you and corrects you. You are a bruiser, Heather. You are definitely a bruiser.
Hands down. You really
are. Said with love, we love you, but I'm not going to coddle you. I'm going to tell you this is what you need to hear. So you can be better. You need a softie, a person that you can cry to. They'll listen to you. They'll support you. They'll help correct you gently. Just somebody. And Jenn's a good person for that too. With a lot of people, she just will listen to you. You need a mentor. That is a leader, somebody who is a friend, but also you look to them to learn, for guidance, for wisdom. And really, you kind of need a coach, and that's the person who physically, actually helps teach you, like brings you into the wing and kind of teaches you, sort of a mentor kind of thing. And like, there are people, basically my entire tribe could be this team. I could point to each person and be like, you're this, you're this, you're a bruiser. Our good friend Kyla, who keeps coming up, she's a bruiser. Our friend Kelly, she's one of my cheerleaders. She calls me once a week, and she's always like, hey, blah, 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 whatever. And so I feel like I told Jenn this, and Jenn's like, you're the cheerleader. I'm like, yeah, probably. That's me.
You are. You are. I was going to say, like, do you know where you fall in that? Like, you are the cheerleader in there.
Honestly, I'm not everybody's cheerleader. There are people that I don't actively, like, cheer for every day because I'm not very close to them. And there are people who don't do the same with me, but they have their own cheerleaders. And, you don't have to, you probably would feel comfortable correcting me on something, whereas maybe there would be other people that you wouldn't feel as comfortable approaching, going, you know what, you did that and that sucked. And so, you're not everybody's bruiser. You're my bruiser, which is great. And so that's just that's the great thing about having a magical team like this, is you have your spots and everything. And so all in all that all is to say that yes, I'm very thankful for this team. This team is fantastic.
And this podcast, I think that you and Jenn, I mean, you should be thankful. You have done amazing things in this.
Podcast is great.
I mean, for real.
It's and this is not patting myself on the back going, look how great we are. I just feel like we really care about this show. Like we talk about it during the week. We kind of talk about what's coming up. We talk about the guests. We figure out who can we get on, who can we shoot for. I have emailed Samantha Brown 3 times. Paige Davis, who's come on the show, has said that Samantha Brown could do it and probably will do it. We just got to get to her, so I'm crossing my fingers. I don't know that we'll get to Michael Eisner before he passes away. He's like 80. I'm not sure that'll happen.
But we've got 80.
I don't know how old he is. I don't know. He's probably in his 70s. But I don't know how to get to him either. I really don't know how to contact Michael Eisner. But Julie Andrews is possibly a get. I don't know. That's probably Jenn's big white whale. I mean, I say possibly a get, like that's going to happen. No, it's probably not. But we have lists of people that we want on the show, and we're going to shoot for them. And the most that will happen is they'll say no. We're gonna aim.
You gotta aim big.
We're gonna aim big because otherwise, how would we have gotten Paige Davis on the show? She was fantastic. We got Stacy from Must Do Disney twice on the show, and I know she does other podcasts, but I love how, I mean, in the off part of the show where we weren't recording, she was just so congratulatory of our show and just us and just blah blah blah. And so, and we have some things to work on. I know that our show needs to get better on certain things. I listen back and I'm my own worst critic. I'm like, I gotta fix that. That's not good. I gotta fix that. Like whatever. Speaking of the podcast too, I'm also thankful for the podcast community that we have been able to surround ourselves with. I'm very thankful for Matt and Susie with the Imagineers podcast. Yes, they work for a different agency, but they're great. They're amazing. Matt is so freaking smart in what he knows and the things he does. Susie is a great color person. She's great at playing off of Matt, and just she's kind of the comic relief of it. She's the nerd. She's the goofy guy. And Matt's the kind of the steers the ship correctly and whatever. The I Am Geek guys, Ryan, Chris, and Katrin, are so much fun. Their show's not for everybody because it can get very geeky, but I am a geek, and so I love the show. I love just their back and forth, and really it's just a couple of guys sitting around having a conversation.
Exactly.
And sometimes that's what I want. Listening to Jenn and Christine talk on Divas Dish Dish, it's the exact same thing, except instead of talking about Marvel and kyber crystals and lightsabers, they're talking about makeup, which is funny to me. And so there's a lot of shows out there that are great, and I'm happy to be a part of that community, just the podcast community itself. And so, and your show, by the way, Mama Mouse Club, it's on YouTube, which you got to put this in podcast form. I keep telling you to do so, and you won't do it.
I know Irene has brought it up too, but it's really hard because when you have like moms, it's just like really hard, especially during the school year. I know everybody keeps saying it and people keep asking it, but I just want to say, just stay tuned, people. Like, there's things that are coming in 2022 that like we are not discussing and has nothing really to do with Mama Mouse Club, but just like stay tuned for 2022. Big things are happening in 2022.
It is,
and don't forget, one of your guests that you want to have on here is my BFF, Josh.
Yes. Josh tomorrow.
I'm going to work on it for
Josh
you.
tomorrow. We're working on Josh tomorrow as well. We would love to have Josh tomorrow on the show. He doesn't do a lot of podcasts. So
no.
I will be honest. I will be shocked if we have him on before I'll be honest if we have him on anytime soon.
No,
I'm down the road. He might, but right now, he may or may not. I don't know. But
I'm thinking that we get like 5 minutes in the park where we're just like talking, and it's like not even the podcast. We're just like, once again, telling him how great he is as a leader and just talking random stuff. I think you might get him to do that.
Well, and for Josh, and you're listening to this, Josh, because you always do, you have to know something about me and Jenn when we interview people. Before the show, before the recordings even go, we've done this with Paige, with Stacy, with the Mark Walton, who is the voice of Rhino. Every one of them, we always say, if there's anything in this podcast that we ask you about or we get to a subject you don't like, let me know and I will edit that out. And only one time we had one single guest who said, I really hope I don't want you to mention this one particular thing. And I was like, perfect. We'll not mention it at all. And we didn't. It never came up. And I'm not going to tell you what it is now. But no, it's so if Josh hears this, just know that we will never talk. We won't be like, so tell me what you really think about blah, blah, blah. That's not how we roll because we want people to come back, which is why people do come back. And so there was something else I was going to say. I had another thank you to throw out there too. And thank you to the listeners. We get some good feedback. My friend Brian, which I kind of met a couple of weeks ago, I knew him online for, I guess, an acquaintance. We became friends a couple of weeks ago at a conference. Very congratulatory of the show. Melissa Reagan, who's a chef. So she loves Ratatouille, of course. She always likes the show. She always shares the show. She is fantastic. We have a lot of people who I continually see and just in chats and feedback and stuff that just Thank you guys for listening. We are very thankful for you on that. That's just, I mean, without you, we wouldn't have a show. And I'm watching the numbers slowly creep up, very slowly, but slowly creeping up.
They're creeping up. Don't let David steer you wrong. They're creeping up faster than he's giving himself credit for. But it's because you are actually reaching like the Disney community, and the fans are like, Disney fans are the best fans.
They really are.
I mean, they really are. They're the best fans. And hey, if a podcast can help make your day a little brighter, well, then you and Jen are doing good work.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of things wrong with Disney right now. There's a lot of things we can nitpick, and we can say, I really wish they wouldn't do this. I wish they wouldn't do that. And there's not a day goes by that one of us in our group doesn't rail on the tech. And I will talk about the tech all day long, how terrible it is. But overall, I am thankful for Disney. I am thankful for Disney World and what they bring us. And a lot of that is cast members. It's not even the higher-ups, Josh aside. It's the cast members, because the cast members love their job. They love what they're doing. And I think they maybe fit into that prime category of what I mentioned earlier, people who didn't realize what they had until it was gone. And almost like, now it's like, I don't have this anymore, and holy crap, I can't go ride Haunted Mansion anymore. And I don't. Besides the fact a lot of them lost their jobs or were furloughed from their jobs, didn't know what was going to happen. It was this, probably taking it for granted up until like March the 15th of 2020. If you worked there, you could just go ride Small World when you felt like it, or most of the time, certain blackout dates and stuff, obviously, but aside. But hey, I work here, so I'm just going to go and have watch the fireworks tonight, because why not? And suddenly you can't do that anymore, and it had to have been a weird feeling to be able to to not have that and not have that in front of you anymore.
I wish I remember what her name was, but I just came across something on Instagram today, and it was a girl who did one of those reels, and it said, I got furloughed, like whenever the whole pandemic broke out, and she was like, the magic was gone, and all I kept waiting for was like the day that they would call me back. And she was like, well, today it happens, and I start again on November 30th, and I couldn't be happier. And at the end of like her Instagram post, she's physically crying because she's so excited. And when we say that Disney picks the right people to work in those parks for corporate, whether for everything from like when you would get at the kiosk at Magical Express, even whenever Disney first opened, I remember we came down to Magical Express and there was a cast member there, and he was like, thank you for coming back. Thank you. And we were like, no, thank you. Yep. Every single person down to, I love the guys that they are finally getting their praise, that are drawing on the streets.
Yes.
You know how they take their little
janitors
the little janitors with the water. They're drawn on the streets. Every single person there plays a role, but every single person literally loves their job, and Disney does a phenomenal job at picking the people that they know are going to give all these guests amazing experiences.
Oh yeah. And I like Universal. I know you're gonna have that face. I do. I like Universal. I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy Universal. I like the roller coasters. I love the Harry Potter area, everything. But you don't get that same sense of history and nostalgia like you do at Disney World. I don't walk into the Wizarding World or the whatever Seuss Land and just stand there with a tear in my eye, going, "Can't believe I'm here. I cannot believe I'm back." I didn't get that when we went to Universal in April. I didn't walk around going, I'm so excited they're open again. I'm so happy they're opening. It was just more of a, this is cool. This is awesome. Okay, cool. Rock on. I want a butterbeer. Great. Fantastic. Hey, Jen, when we're going to Disney again? Monday? Cool. All right. I'll see you at Animal Kingdom.
But I left early, and I was like, I'm on my way to Magic Kingdom.
But I remember getting a sense of, I don't want to say relief, but a sense of normalcy when I went to Animal Kingdom that weekend. Walking to Animal Kingdom going, deep down inside thinking, okay, this is probably where I should be. And it was just this feeling of, okay, it was fun to visit somewhere else, but now I'm home. Home being Disney World property. And you know what? We're nerds. We're absolute nerds for Disney.
We are.
Are we homers for Disney? Absolutely. We can criticize with the best of them, and we don't use that show for this, but anybody who's ever talked to me in private can ask me about certain things, and I'll be like, let me just tell you about Disney Red. Mostly because I love Disney so much, I want to see them do better. And Josh, please call us because we have lots of suggestions. Nothing too bad, just suggestions. But that's the fun part of having a podcast is we're able to talk about these things just to feed that Disney fuel. And one of the things I hear from other people and the fans that listen to this show are that we give them the Disney per week And a lot of shows do that, and I'm glad that we're one of the shows they listen to give them that Disney fix for the week if they can't be at the parks, which is part of what I do the show for too as well, to be able to have my own Disney fix when I'm reading Disney stories and tell Disney stuff. So
connect to people that get it.
Absolutely, connect to authenticity. I think that's a good place to wrap this thing up. Anything else? Any final thoughts? Any final things you are thankful for there, Heather?
No, I don't think so. I think so. Mm-hmm. I'm thankful for obviously like my family and everybody's happy and healthy, and yeah, I'm thankful that 2022 is going to be amazing.
It is.
I'm thankful that we got big things coming.
We do. The podcast does. The group does. The agency does. Let me just tell you, we make it no secret. We are, I don't want to say sponsored by, but we are a part of Upon a Star Travel and Concierge. info@uponastartravel.com or uponastartravel.com is the website. And we are happy to do not just Disney folks. If you're like, I listen to the show and I like Disney, and you and Jen are fantastic, and especially Jen, but you're fine too. But I'm thinking, you know what? I booked like 17 trips with you guys last year. I want to do something different, like Mexico. We do all-inclusives. Yeah. We do cruises. We do around-the-world cruises. We do, cruises to the Caribbean. We do Adventures by Disney and Royal Caribbean and, stateside tours and things like that. If you want it, there is somebody in our agency that likely will get it for you. Matter of fact, 2023, they've opened up the Antarctica trips for Adventures by Disney. I am happy to send you into Antarctica. I will send you a $250 gift card out of my own pocket if I can book you on a trip to Antarctica. Okay? Just FYI, I'll throw it right out there. So I'm happy to send it to you. It only starts at around $12,000. So Antarctica sounds like a great trip. So
and don't forget, there's Black Friday deals that are dropping tomorrow too.
There actually are too. So definitely make sure you follow the Upon a Star on all the socials and everything. Follow me on Insta at The Magic on $1. Find me on Facebook at Magic on $1 and Disney on $1. Give you Jen's credentials. Follow her on Instagram at Jen_Novotny, and also follow her on Upon a Star Jen over on Instagram, and she's on Facebook as well and all those places. You can see all the stuff that she's involved in. Go check my stuff out because I'm at Disney all week, so I've been doing pictures and posts and TikToks and all that crap. So Heather, where can we find you, Miss Moana Bomb?
Oh my gosh, I'm at the Moana Mom on Instagram and YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then if you need to find me for Upon a Star purposes, it's Heather Upon a Star. So yeah, there's some things coming up with Moana Mom too. So I'm excited for it. We've been kind of taking a break because the holidays are here. And let's face it, if you're a parent this time of year, it's just rough.
So, and honestly, guys, as we close the show, I know that we had no idea where this episode was going to go. Heather and I, she was like, what are we talking about? I was like, I have no idea. Let's just talk for 20 minutes because Heather and I can do that easily. We purposely are making this show short because she and I actually could talk for about 3 hours, and we've done it. And I know that you're probably listening going, man, they sure do love themselves, don't they? No, it's not that. This show needs improvement. There are things we can do better. I know it. Trust me, when I edit this podcast, if you watch the YouTube form and you listen to the edited podcast audio form, they're different because Heather leaves in everything, and I go through and I take out some of the and some of the and I'm like, I sounded stupid here, and I did too much there. And I'm very critical of everything I do because I want us to sound better. But I'm proud of the show we're putting together. I'm proud of the podcast. I'm proud of Jen. I'm proud of me, and proud of you, and proud of this whole thing, and our listeners, and the base, and everything that we're doing. So yes, that's why we sound self-congratulatory, because we're proud of what we do, and we love and are thankful that you out there are a part of what we do as well. So thank you. Thank you very much. Heather, thank you for joining me tonight. Jen, we will see you next week. We'll both be back on the show again for episode number 81, I think. I don't even know anymore. I know. Right? Episode 100 is coming. Our Christmas episode. I know,
it's right around the corner.
Christmas episode's coming up. We have a really fun episode planned for Christmas, and so that'll be coming up pretty soon. And then New Year's, and then it's January, and it's just so on and so on and so forth. So anyway, thankful for Heather, thankful for Jen, thankful for the audience, and hey, I'm thankful for those Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.